Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of The Lounge. Today is Saturday, June 16th, and this is Social Saturdays. Now, you might be wondering, Javi, where are you? Social Saturdays, you're supposed to be out at different businesses, talking about, local businesses here in the Gables like you always do. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I kind of messed up this week. I kind of screwed the pooch on this one. I didn't book someone for today or any day this week. I was kind of busy. My dad was out of town, and so I thought to myself, I was like, there's going to be a video coming out clearly as you're watching this video. So don't ever expect there not to be a video. There will always be a video, I promise. But I thought to myself, we're going to be on Miami Maps this year. And if you didn't know, let me introduce Miami Maps. Miami Maps is, as you guys know, and I'm going to start doing a better job of relaying this information to you guys because, not everyone watches every video, and some might watch Social Saturdays, some don't. But Miami Maps is a local city tour guide. I should have probably had it on me to grab it. So Miami Maps is like a tourist city guide, and they have different cities. This one, the one I'm holding right here, is the Coconut Grove one, and they have one, Doral, Coral Gables, Brickell, Miami, no, not Miami Beach. They have Wynwood. They have a bunch of them. That's the point. And one of them happens to be the Gables, which is why they partnered with us to help us bring you the heart of Coral Gables, the real businesses that are here in Coral Gables. So that's why we did Artigiano, we did Well-Groomed Gentleman. Last week we did La Provençale. So all these different businesses, thank you to Miami Maps for, facilitating the interviews and facilitating the interaction that we have with these businesses. That's really what this segment's all about, introducing different businesses you might not have heard of, and new restaurants, shops, all these things that, are, in my opinion, the biggest deal here in the Gables, because they're the pillar. They're the epicenter of everything that goes on. They're the ones involved in the bid and, the decision, the voting, and all this, all the bureaucracy stuff. But, I think, Social Saturdays is probably my favorite because even me, as a 21-year-old, I don't really know a lot of businesses here in the Gables. You could be 40, you might not know of La Provençale. It's one of the oldest restaurants here in the Gables on Miracle Mile. The only, I think, authentic French cuisine that's there. So, one of my favorite parts of the show, during the show, is being able to go on, during the week and be able to do a segment on these businesses that don't otherwise get the spotlight on them. So this week, I thought to myself, since I didn't book someone, I was like, you know what? They might not know Gables Cigars as well as I think that they do, because, I've gotten a lot of questions from people, Instagram, here on YouTube. I know Rory calls all the time. I always shout out Rory because Rory is literally our number one fan. I will take that. I will fight that to the end of this. Rory, shout out to you for always being supportive of us, always dropping a comment and a like. I think you always get the hiccups when I'm on camera. Thank you, Rory, for always dropping a like and just showing support. But I guess I should add that to the outline of the show. Always shout out Rory. So yeah, this week we're gonna be talking about me, and unfortunately my dad's not here. He's out of town, and that's another. This week my dad was out of town, and so I was here manning the shop all week, and it was hard. I got like a 3-hour break at night, and that was only on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, yesterday I worked all day. Today I work all the way till midnight again. That's every week, so I can't really complain. I'm not complaining. I'm just giving you the situation so you understand the time constraints that I was under. But next week I will have business that's not Gables Cigars out on Social Saturdays. But so for this week, I'm basically going to be doing like a Q&A with myself. It's kind of weird because I think about these things a lot. I think about myself. I'm a philosophy major. Not that means anything, but I'm trying to give you context into who I am and how I think and why I do what I do. But so this week is going to be about Gables Cigars. You just saw that little intro that played of the shop, a little bit of the items that we have, the scenery, the mood that we're setting, But yeah, let's get right into it. So I wrote down a bunch of questions that I normally ask others because I don't really take an outline when I do an interview with someone else. I usually just go off the top of my head, feel the vibe, and keep that conversation, lit. And then when I feel that it's wrapping up, I'll wrap up the episode. But this one's a little different because it's hard to have a conversation with yourself. So I have a bunch of questions here that I've written down about that I typically normally ask them. So the first one is I usually always ask them about themselves before I start talking about the business, so to get some context into who they are. So the first question is, who are you? I'm Javier Cobos. I was born in Miami, 1996, Baptist Hospital, as Miami as you could get. I'm 21 years old. I've been, oh man, someone walking in right away, so I'll be right back. Yeah, so you guys know the drill if you guys watch any of the other episodes. We are filming right now inside the store. Normally we're inside another business, so we don't get those interruptions. But today, we're filming inside the shop, and we are a store where people could come in and buy cigars. So someone came in and bought some cigars. So my name, where was I? So I'm 21, and how can I give you? So I said the second question was, where have you been for the last few years? So the last few years, I graduated high school in May of 2015, so right about 3 years ago. I went to Gables Senior High School. I grew up in Miami, living that Miami kid lifestyle. I don't know what you think the Miami kid lifestyle is, but I grew up in Miami. I grew up with a really close Cuban family. We, very close, very Cuban. So I've had a lot of Cuban influence when I grow up. I don't know if you could tell by the mustache. While I was growing up, I had a lot of Cuban influence. When I graduated high school, this is something that I talk about all the time, and it's about not knowing who I am yet. And when I was in high school, I thought I knew what I wanted to be. I was, president of the TV club. I was always involved in the media making of the school, like, videos and a lot of stuff. I'll link my Vimeo in the description so you guys could go see what I used to work on when I was in high school. But, I was always in the video, and that was because my dad used to have a big production company that would do, not big, but, a production company of respectable size where he would do weddings, quinces, commercials, stuff like that. And he downsized after I left the FSU, but when I left the FSU, I left in the pursuit of, I'm going to study video and communications and stuff like that. But when I got to the school, and apparently FSU is one of the best, digital media production schools in the country, I realized that what they're teaching me isn't what I want to know. And this is when I've always hated school, and I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. I've always hated school, but specifically college in general and what you're paying, because now we're talking about like actual money and like real money, like a semester over there between housing and everything, easily $5,000. It's tough. And I'm blessed because like I won a scholarship that paid my tuition for all 4 years. And, I've just had a strong support system in my family and with the people around me, the people that love me. So, it wasn't tough for me, but it was tough for the people around me. And also I'm the first person to ever leave the city to go to college. So that was tough on my family as well. And when I was over at FSU, I realized, this communications thing, like they don't have the tool, not the tools, but the people teaching the material don't even know like what's going on in the world around us. And one of the reasons that I started this podcast is because, I think this is one of those key things that you need, these long format things, it's a whole, I'm trying to fit all my entire brain into this video. It's not going to work, but it's tough trying to be something in the media world or something like that when you're going in blank, you don't know what you're doing. College is just like it's just a clusterfuck of people and ideas and everything happening at once, and you don't know who you are, and you think, that's the thing that I was talking about. You think you know who you are, and you really don't. So I realized that I didn't know who I was, and and that was about going into my first year and a half of college, of FSU. No, about a year in, the summer after. So 1 year after, I decided this isn't for me, and I switched into political science, and I took 2 classes there. I took an international relations class, and then I also took religions in the U.S. class. During this time, in those classes, which are were some of my favorite memories. That semester was one of my favorite memories, being there that fall. But I realized, what I care about in political science, because this was right around the time when the elections were happening, and I thought, politics is really cool. But at the end of those two classes, towards the end of that semester, about 2 weeks before the semester ended, I realized this isn't who I am, and this isn't what I'm supposed to be. Now, that happened for a number of reasons that I'm not going to be able to, just sum up in like 2 minutes worth of discussion. This is like, this is deep stuff. This is deep stuff that when you get to know me, you understand what my thought process was and things like that. But at that moment in time, I realized this isn't for me. So it was just basically one day I said to myself, this isn't where I'm going to be. And I called my mom that day and I was like, I'm leaving FSU. She's like, no, you're not. You're not leaving FSU. And I'm like, I'm leaving FSU. She's like, why are you leaving FSU? This and that. It was a very, emotional, because a lot of pain, imagine, for me to get over there, and for me to, that facilitation of me being able to study away from home. It took a lot of effort, not just from my mom, but from my, emotional support from my family. But, my mom, I talk about my mom, I'm sorry. But, this is it's a weird conversation to have with a camera and try to share, your side of the story without so many, things outside this realm. But, it was a tough discussion to have, and I was like, I'm leaving. At the end of the day, it was my life. It's my life, and I think no one can tell you what you need to do no one knows what you need better than you. So at that moment in time, I was like, I need to leave FSU. And the next day, I went to my counselor and I was like, I'm leaving. What do I need to do? She told me A, B, and C. I was like, okay. The next day, I applied to FIU and applied to Dade the day after that. FIU, because of the bureaucracy and everything, I didn't get in, and either way, I'm happy I didn't get in right away. But I ended up coming back, move everything back. I still had a lease over there. I had a rent. I think, a lot, things happen, and you have to be these things wouldn't have happened unless they were meant to be. So one of my good dearest friends, Joey Fiorello, he was like, I'll sublease a room. I found someone for my room, and this took a month for him to be able to say, yeah, I'm going to move into your old room. He moved into my old room and took care of the sublease for us. And, I'll never forget the people that helped me get to where I am. And he's one of those people that really helped me in a very, pickled situation. I was very, it was a lot of pressure to get things in the right place. And I fortunately was able to but we fortunately found each other, and he was able to help me out in that situation. So he rented my room, and I was able to come back to Miami, everything over there completely disconnected, no problems. I went to Dade for 2 semesters that spring of 2016 and was it 2016? Yeah, spring of 2017. Wow, this has been a while. I always get these dates confused, but spring of 2017, I moved back to Miami. I went to Dade that semester, and then I went to Dade again summer of 2017, and I finished there, and I started fall at FSU in 2017 as well. So FIU in the fall of 2018. I also switched my major when I came back, because what I realized from the classes that I took was that I don't care so much about the policy making. I care more about the arguments behind the reasoning of why these policies should be in place. So I didn't care so much about the bill that's going to be passed, but rather the thought process of utilitarianism, which is like a school of thought that, it's just, if you want to have a discussion with me about philosophy, just, call the store or email me. But not to get too much into it, I cared more about the thought process behind it. So then I moved back here, I switched to philosophy. I've been in philosophy ever since I moved back to Miami, and I really, truly I really feel that I could not be in a better place, not just in life, but specifically in what major and what I'm studying in school. Because people always ask me, I don't think, there's just so many reasons why I love philosophy, and it's just being able to build this architecture within my brain of like how things work and the arguments of why things are better than other things, and being able to actually say like, no, like this is what I believe because I believe this, and I've come to this myself, not because I saw this online and this online and this online. But you could really structure arguments and really structure your thought process. It's a lot of critical thinking, and I'm starting to get into philosophy a lot more because that is where I've been for the last few years, for about a year now. 2 years now. 2 years, about 2 years, almost 2 years. So that's where I've been the past few years. I know I went on a rant there, guys. I know, but trying to share with you as detailed and as briefly, summarize everything about me, my essence, as quickly as I can for you guys. All right, so the next question: how did you get into this industry? This industry that I'm talking about is the cigars, and probably like anyone ever, my dad got me into cigars, or someone in your family probably got you into cigars. Maybe you came up to cigars by yourself. If you did, let us know in the comments how you were able to get into cigars. If you're watching this because of the cigars, if not, how did you get into your industry, or how did you get into restaurant making, or maybe you're an accountant. How did you find that as your passion? Because it's all about finding your passion. But how did you get into this industry? So my dad's always been a cigar smoker. When I grew up, you would always smell the cigars around him, and I always loved the smell of cigars. I'm not gonna lie, it's like a lot of things. You love the smell. Some people love the smell of gasoline, which I kind of like too, but it's not like the cigar smell where I could really sniff on a cigar and smell the smoke. So there's something about cigars that's really appealing to me, and my dad would always smoke it when he was, when I was younger, and I would always smell it, and I always thought it was a cool smell. But so then he opened the shop, and obviously that's how I got into the industry. Did you know you were always going to end up here? No, I did not. Did I always know that I was going to end up inside a cigar shop? No, I did not. Not by any means. That was never on my radar. Selling cigars is never on my radar. However, did I always know I was going to end up here in front of a camera with lights and a mic? Because I've always been making videos. I mean, I've been studying and like making videos like in a not professional, but above average way, I would like to say, since middle school. Even a little bit before that, I've been playing with Final Cut and cameras because my dad owned that company. So I would always go there in the summers, and I would always learn about stuff like that. But then FSU and all these things just got me so far away from it. And what you're seeing right now is the first real incarnation of what I've learned and everything that I've done. Not really, a culmination, because it's not a lot of editing. Editing is my favorite part about videos. It's not so much the filming or the photography or any of that. It's the editing that I love a lot. It's the thing that I think I excel at in this realm of like making videos and media, stuff like that. But so my dad got me into video, and so I always knew that there was something here with the video, not so much the cigars. Okay, so that was the first set of questions. The second set of questions is, where are we? Oh, so where are we? We're inside Gables Cigar Shop. This is located right here, right around the corner from Cafe Abraci. If you don't know where that is, it's one of the pillars of here, Coral Gables, of the Cuban culture. So we're right on Salcedo, diagonally across from the Coral Gables Museum, next to Ichimi Ramen, one of my favorite places to eat. It's when you're coming down Lejeune Road, it's literally the first avenue into Miracle Mile that's not Lejeune. So literally, you coming down Lejeune, if you're going south on Lejeune, you turn left, and it's that first left right there. Or if you're coming north from Lejeune, you turn right, and then you turn left onto the first street. We're literally right here. So then, when did you open? We opened in April, the late April of 2016. So it's been 2 years now, 2 solid years, 2 wonderful years. I've only been here for about a year, and that's basically when we opened. Why did we open? So my dad, again, has always loved cigars. He still has his video business, which is where he gets most of the income that we get, or he gets. Most income comes in from the video aspect. He's done Francis Suarez's campaign. He did all the video for that. He did all the video for Carlos Jimenez. He did. He's been doing videos. So now when I said that he downsized in the from what he had before, which was a lot. He had a big crew, a lot of editors editing. He was pumping out video after video every week, weddings, quinces, birthdays, all that stuff. But he downsized now, so he has a way smaller crew of the people that he trusts the most, and now he just handles like very big events, very big clients and accounts. So not so much of the little weddings, quinces, and all this good stuff, but more of the big. He gets the big fish, and that's what's able to sustain him. And he has like 30 years of experience now, or like 25 or 30 years of experience now. So like it's not hard for him to be swimming around with the big sharks and be able to catch the big sharks. So that's and why we opened. So my dad had a mobile cigar store. So it was like a truck it was like a food truck for cigars, and it was pretty cool. But that business quickly did not succeed to the level that he needed it to be at to be able to sustain something like that. And I think, and I don't know the whole backstory, that's why I wish he was here, but I'll relay to you what he knows. He also does not like being on camera, so I'll give him that as the excuse. But he also, so then after, I think he was like, you know what, like to his wife now, my stepmom, he was like, let's open a cigar store. And I think they agreed on the business plan, and they found a great location here in the Gables. And at the end of the day, they agreed, and they were like, you know what, let's do it. Like let's get some residual income in, because while the video is his main business, this is just like a side income. It's a side hustle in a sense that could grow into something very big. So they saw that from the beginning, and they were like, you know what, let's invest the money and let's pull this thing together. And they pulled it together in about 3 months, I think, or 4 months. They were working on the shop before they got it open in April. So it was a good, just good timing and good thoughts and good vibes all around that really got this place to be open the way it is. So is there anything special brewing? There is something special brewing in the very, very, very near future. We're going to have a sort of little event. I haven't, the details aren't refined yet, so I'm not going to let you guys know. I'm not going to link it anywhere, but there is something brewing that I think I'm very excited for. Other people are very excited for it too. We're getting a lot of people talking about it on our end, and things are moving in the background. Even if you don't see it, things are moving in the background. So that's anything special. So what can we expect? What does the future look like? The future right now looks promising. In many different ways, it looks very promising. I sense the vibe here in the store, and I sense the people. It's all about the people at the end of the day, and it's about making the people happy. I make it, at least when I'm here, I pride myself in being able to find the best cigar for what you need, or where you're going, or what you're doing. So, I could always try and sell you a $30 cigar. I could always try and sell you a $25 cigar. But the problem with that is, those are, I mean, they're not bad cigars, but those cigars aren't always what's best, or those aren't always what's in the best, how do I even put this? It's not always what you should smoke. Because of course we're going to make more money off them, but at the end of the day, the cigars are about the experience. You could get a $30 cigar and smoke it and be like, wow, I had a horrible time smoking this cigar. Fuck this place. I'm never going back there. And that's what I try to avoid. I always try and give you what you want. So, if you're, again, and that's why I do the reviews here on YouTube, so I could get a better sense of what the cigars are and what, where they stand and what pairings and everything. So like I always be like, if you're drinking whiskey, the Le Bijou, phenomenal cigar. The one I just smoked the other, one of the Guilbert d'Oliva paired fairly well. Sometimes price does make a difference. So in that sense, I could always be like, the Guilbert d'Oliva is less pricey than the Le Bijou. The Le Bijou paired better, but for what you're looking for, the Guilbert d'Oliva is going to be your best bet. Or maybe I could be like, like I like the Kumpai with coffee. Maybe that one's too short, so try the Flor de Selva Maduro, or maybe try the Reserva Especial Dominican, the La Flor Dominicana Reserva Especial. Like it's all about, it's a give and take. You gotta find what they like and what they need. So a lot of good vibes I'm sensing from people. People enjoy coming here. something that I am cooking up. Like I can't tell you guys yet, but so yeah, I do sense some good vibes. The future looks very promising. I got another customer walking in, so I'll be right back after this. So another quick little interruption, as always, here at the lounge. You know, it gets a little busy sometimes. Today's Saturday, so getting the influx of people walking around, enjoying the sun, Miami weather. So either way, that's basically, I'm pretty sure I summed everything up well. I hope you guys like that. I don't really talk about myself a lot on the show, so now you guys kind of have an idea of who I am and where I stand in the world, where Gables Cigars stands in the world as well, who we are, and so that basically does it. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned. You could follow Gables Cigars on Instagram at Gables Cigars. I know it's been in the corner the whole time. You could follow us on Instagram as well, the show, thelounge.media, at thelounge.media, at Gables Cigars. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the YouTube. You really don't know how much it means to us. If you're on a podcast app, I don't know how the different ones work, but I think there's a subscribe button or a favorite button, something like that, so you could do that. Like the video if you enjoyed the story time with Javi, and I'll catch you guys on Monday for Coffee and Cigars number 8. Don't really feel like that was a good intro or outro, and I still feel like there's so much more I want to share with you guys. Obviously, it's only been like 42 episodes today, so you know, a long time to go, guys, and you know, you're going to see a lot of changes. So thank you so much. I think this is the real outro. Thank you so much for staying tuned, and I'll catch you guys on Monday.